We all want to belong and feel like we are a part of the group, but it's quite a different thing to have a seat at the table. In business, having a seat at the table means that you're a valued individual. It's a recognition that your voice is one that's important and that you were chosen to participate as part of the group. In Mark 14, we read of an example where Jesus sat down at the table for the Passover, and he sat down with 12 men that he had selected as apostles. Mark 14, verses 12 through 16, says, "And on the first day of unleavened bread, when they sacrificed the Passover lamb, his disciples said to him, 'Where will you have us go and prepare for you to eat the Passover?' And he sent two of his disciples and said to them, 'Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters, say to the master of the house, "The teacher says, where is my guest room, where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?" And he will show you a large upper room, furnished and ready, and there prepare for us.' And the disciples set out and went into the city and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover." Well, now when it was evening, Jesus and the 12 gathered around and reclined to eat at the table in the upper room. And it's important to take a minute and look at the background of each of these men who were at the table with Jesus. You have Peter, Andrew, James, and John, some of the very first to be called by Jesus. Before following Jesus, they were career fishermen from Galilee and were disciples of John the Baptizer. Now, Galileans were notoriously known as less educated people who belonged to a lower class. Now, Peter's impetuous nature often caused him to speak before he thought. Andrew was more reserved with a quiet and calculated demeanor. James and John were called the sons of thunder, which implies that they were known for outbursts of violent anger. They sometimes didn't think their decisions through before speaking or acting. Philip and Nathanael were students of the law of Moses. It appears that they were close friends who may have studied the Old Testament together. Philip was practical and sometimes too focused on the details. He was always looking for more evidence and weighing the information instead of acting. On his first day with Jesus, Nathanael boldly proclaimed Jesus as the Son of God, the King of Israel. And Jesus said that Nathanael was an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no deceit. But unfortunately, Nathanael showed a prejudicial mindset that could have prevented him from talking to Jesus based upon where he was born. But we find that he kept an open mind, and he met with Jesus. Matthew and Thomas are known as the publican and the pessimist. As the publican, Matthew was considered one of the most despicable, vile, and unprincipled people of the time. Matthew's job was to take money from his own people and fund the efforts of the Romans who were oppressing them. He was hated on both sides, by his own people as a traitor and by the Romans as a Jew. Thomas is remembered as Doubting Thomas due to his pessimism regarding the return of Jesus, and although after seeing the proof, Thomas responded with a resounding support of Jesus, even calling him my Lord and my God. James, the son of Alphaeus, Simon, who was called the Zealot, Judas, the son of James, these are less known than the other apostles, but one fact we do know is that they all left everything in order to follow Jesus. James, the son of Alphaeus, also known as James the Less, lives up to his nickname when he comes to references about him in the Bible. Simon the Zealot was a member of a Jewish political party known for radical beliefs in respect to the occupation of the Romans. The Zealot party was known for terrorism, including acts of violence and bloodshed. They hated the Romans and also hated any Jew that supported the Romans. Judas, the son of James, was also known as Thaddeus. He's only referenced once when he asked Jesus the question, "Why are you going to disclose yourself to us and not to the world?" Well, this question reveals Thaddeus' tender-hearted sincerity and humility. Judas Iscariot is known for betraying the Son of God for 30 pieces of silver. Judas took the money from the chief priests and joined Jesus at the table. Jesus was troubled in his spirit and revealed the traitor. Exposed, Judas chose to follow his own path, and he left the table. Now, when we look at these men, it's like looking into a mirror of society. Here were people that came from such a wide variety of different backgrounds, but yet there was something that brought them together. What brought them together was Jesus Christ. Yes, these people had flaws. Yes, these people had things in their life that caused them to be viewed as opposites, as antagonists of each other in society. But when they came to Jesus, Jesus was that unifying force that brought them together and gave each one of them a seat at the table. We can take great comfort as well as great direction from this teaching. Friends, we thank you for joining us for our program today, and have a blessed day.